Hola, hola, it's me, Gabriela. Welcome back. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about how to plan and achieve what I call intellectual progress in your Spanish conversations. This can be a tricky topic because we put so much effort into learning and memorizing. I don't know about you, but a lot of my students struggle with thoughts like, I'm not using all the things I know, or yikes, I knew this but couldn't respond. To help with this, I've created a super helpful chart that can totally change your learning routine and help you approach things from a wholesome perspective. I'll walk you through realistic milestones so you'll know exactly what to work and how to improve. This is part 2 of a 2-part series, so if you're new here, you might want to check out part 1, where I break down the emotional response chart. Alright, first, let's recognize that your strength in a conversation isn't just about how much Spanish you know. It's really about how much of it you can actually use in the moment. Thinking of knowledge as a set of skills, tools you use, rather than intellectual power you possess, can take off a lot of the pressure. It shifts the focus to using your skills rather than being perfect. Second, it's so important to be realistic about the effort you're putting in and to embrace the journey. Spanish will always be there for you. Going all out can sometimes lead to burnout, while a steady pace will keep you moving forward. As we say in Spanish, es una carrera de fondo, no un sprint. When it comes to intellectual responses, there are 3 main aspects we can plan about and of course track: general comprehension, vocabulary use, and pronunciation, including accent. You might already be familiar with this, but here's the big question. How can we plan our conversations lessons in a way that feels wholesome and doesn't bring us down at every step? Well, let me show you how to do it. Okay, so when it comes to comprehension, we adults tend to get frustrated quickly. Our first thought is often, I don't get it, I don't know Spanish. And that's when we stop listening. No chart can help you if you're stuck on knowing everything right away. But if you keep listening, the words will start making sense over time. That's how I learned English, and it's working for me with Catalan as well. So, if you're just here like recognizing words, focus on Spanish sounds. It's all about building those brain pathways and connecting with the sound. Keep in mind your native language phonetics might interfere, so train your ear first. Meaning will come later. So if you are in these 2 levels, like recognizing words, or you can understand the general idea of simple topics, but you miss details. Catching those blurred sounds or the missing sounds in sentences or phrases should be your goal at this point, right? But if you are in the level where the contextual understanding it is easier for you, congrats, that's wonderful. Now comes the heal. Getting over the fear of asking. Asking questions is gonna give you more insights and help you push you a bit out of the plateau. When students tell me, I feel stuck in a plateau, Gabriela, it's usually because they've gotten comfortable with knowing and they're not like stepping into the uncomfortable zone. Growth comes from constant challenges. So at this level, what you will be like getting as a goal, it's asking a lot, asking cómo se dice, qué significa. And if you're here in the detailed comprehension, you need to push yourself through the feeling of being in that plateau. You need to be really like pushing you out. No one is going to do it for you, right? So I recommend here like listening to interviews. They will help you create a native context, and they're so natural and unpredictable that they're going to give you like a better idea of how the Spanish it's developing in a natural environment, right? And if you're here in the natural understanding, well, congrats, enjoy the process. Your goal here is just having fun. So yeah, this is a part for general comprehension. You have the level where you are, then the description, the goal, and how to do it. Okay, so good pronunciation is key to getting your message across. You don't need to sound like a native, but you definitely want to avoid the awkwardness of not being understood repeatedly, right? So knowing what to pay attention to, it's super important. So let's work this together, okay? If you have like a heavy accent, you might want to explore Spanish sound. Forget about the alphabet and the symbols and the written form. Get familiar and build the connection in your brain with the sounds. There are not so many, and there are only a few that are different from English. So it's not gonna be that hard. And one thing on how to do this is forget about why, asking questions constantly, questioning, reasoning the sound. Just pay attention to when they show up in the middle, at the beginning, in the end of the word. What happens when they are connect one word to the other? So how these sounds behave. Pick up a sound and check how it behaves in different countries. This is going to give you a better idea of how Spanish is sounding, and trust me, you're gonna get more words out of the context. And let's see, if you are like you have an accent but you're mostly clear, let's say your goal here needs to be like spot what is the phoneme that you have off. Yeah, what is the sound that you're not getting quite right, and then mimic, imitate, shadow words, phrases with this sound. It's going to give you more insights, and you're going to develop something that it's called muscle memory. Muscle memory is not built one day after the other. You don't go to the gym and all of a sudden you're like, yay, I have my six pack. No, we work on that, right? We need to develop like the memory with our articulators. We are used to the sounds in our language, so our articulators go by default to the positions that we are familiar with, which is quite normal. And let's say that you have like a natural pronunciation, yeah? If you're here and you're not super off with so many sounds, I would recommend you pay attention to the vowel sound. Shadow longer phrases and pay extra attention to the connected speech, and don't drag vowel sounds like we do in English. In Spanish, we are like fixed with our sounds, with the vowels. We don't say O, E. We say I, O. It's like fixed, short, clear. If you are there, pay attention to the vowel sounds, because these are the ones that give us more troubles, let's say. And let's now see how the vocabulary use is getting into this. All right, so as you've probably noticed, there is a strategy behind these tips, right? We build confidence and fluency by focusing on specific aspects that block communication. It's not about memorization, it's about adapting to the language and using all our communication skills. Many think vocabulary is about memorizing words and hoping to use them someday, but no, that's not how it works. So the way I approach learning is more of a cross-curricular method. While you improve your Spanish sound, you also build vocabulary. And if you get used to asking "cómo se dice," you'll reach a communication level pretty quickly. If you have like a limited vocabulary, we need to build up that, right? I recommend you listen to children's stories and rhymes. Read children's stories out loud. They're perfect for picking up vocabulary. But if you are more like in the topic-based vocabulary, your goal is going to be like keep adding new words to your foundation, right? So in this point, it is key to ask, ¿cómo se dice? And if you identify like your go-to connectors in English, sometimes we say like, or I mean. If we find this equivalence in Spanish, we're going to sound more natural and we're going to think a bit less. If you have like a varied vocabulary, let's say, you might want to try to sound more natural. At this point, it's key avoiding literacy. This is something that happens a lot, and it's like we tend to translate word by word from Spanish to English, and that's what we say, or from English to Spanish, and that's what we say. And we don't sound natural at all. So try to avoid literacy and try to copy more from others. Like copy
chunks of phrases that people normally say. If you are in this level where you use precise words, idioms, and cultural expressions once in a while, you might want to set as goal patterns, identifying patterns, and how idioms and expressions are used based on context. So for that, I encourage you to listen to podcasts and natural speech. Forget about listening to material made for learners because it's predictable and it's like super defined. When we talk naturally, we use different patterns that at this level you want to pick up these patterns and imitate them. You want to get these prompts, go ahead and subscribe to my newsletter. Yeah, I'm going to be sharing this over there, so go ahead.
One thing that's worth mentioning is the use of this chart. Let's be reasonable and not overdo it because it can get a bit stressful and we definitely want to enjoy the ride. So, if you already have a conversation partner, share this info with them and check it together once a month, let's say, especially to see what the next step should be. Remember, this is just a guide. Sometimes we can feel a bit lost on our learning journey and we all need a little light to guide us. If you don't have a partner, no worries. You can totally do it on your own. Feel free to add your own personal touches to this chart. And if you want a spare copy, subscribe to my newsletter, as I'll be sending it out via email. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what your key planning tips are. I've learned so much from all of you, so if you got a tip, just bring it on. Remember to keep the thumbs up and see you the next time. Ciao, ciao, ciao.